Hey, what's up everyone? Kyle is here and Brian is behind the camera. And it's June here in Tahoe. It's gonna be in the 80s this week, and I'm sure that some of you out there are hardcore, but I'm done skiing. Memorial weekend for me is the last hurrah, and after that, it's time for boating and biking. But one last task to check off on the to-do list is always getting the ski gear ready for the summer, and really ready so that when it snows next year, you don't have a bunch of stuff to catch up on. So we're gonna go over what I do before this season's over and get everything ready to store away for the summertime. So the first thing with getting your gear ready and stored for summer is kind of like realizing that there's different levels of beat up that your gear can be, and you can't fix everything at home. So if you have one pair of skis and you ski on them 100 days a year or 50 days a year, or you're an instructor on your carving skis, if you're looking down and you can see that your base is convexed, then that ski is not gonna ski that good, and you need to take it in and get a base grind and a full tune from your local shop. But if your skis are in all right condition, you just got some burrs from clipping some rocks and you wanna get some wax put on them, that's what we're gonna do here in the garage, and I'll take you through that, because for most of us, like, that's gonna be enough to store it and have everything ready for next winter. So I've got my skis here, my 102s, my most used ski. Either grab a rubber band to hold up the brakes, or because these have a touring binding on them, I can just lock the brakes up like that. And you probably can't tell, but the bases are wicked dirty on here. And any of you guys that have been doing some springtime touring, it's gonna be the same story. So just some base cleaner. You could also just use some alcohol, something that's gonna like get the ski, that's gonna dry quickly, but help you like wipe off just that like external dirt, so that at least you're not waxing in your neighbor's lawn from the last trailhead. So we got that. We've got our iron. You don't have to have a fancy iron. The benefit of a fancy iron, the thick piece of metal, makes it more even heat, so it stays heated better and waxes better. But trust me, I did World Cup competitions with just a $12 iron from Walmart for years. So yeah, just don't use it on your clothes after you use it on your skis, unless you're like real artsy or something. The other tool that I'm gonna use is a diamond stone. We're just gonna use this as a rough way to get rid of the burrs and all the nicks from clipping rocks and gravel and whatever this spring. Smooth out the edges so that it doesn't feel like you're turning with sandpaper next year. And then we're gonna wax them and strap them up, hang them with the rest of the skis for summertime. This is another tool. This is a edge guide. I'm not gonna use it today, but if you're on like a carving ski or something you use on piste and you know the degree of the tune that you have, or you can get these that are adjustable to different angles. This isn't the angle that I use on this ski. So for me today, we're just gonna go freehand with a file. I'm just trying to like clean up these burrs. So you're trying to run and get just the edge and clean up these burrs. But if you run it at a high angle here, then you're gonna have no edge. You're gonna go into next winter. It's gonna be icy, man-made snow in October, and you're gonna think you're gonna die. So we're just gonna clean these up. It was a dry winter in Tahoe. For me on these, I'm mainly using them in the backcountry. This is my setup with a touring binding, so I'm not looking for perfection here. If I was gonna be on my carving skis or something that I'm using only on piste, I would like something a little bit more precise than this. But this is gonna do the trick for these. A benchmark to keep in mind when you're doing this is you're just looking to get the edges smoother, so that like if you're gonna run your fingers very lightly down the edges like this, you're not gonna have all these snags and like metal splinters or anything. So, you know, this is good enough for what I'm looking for. The next step is just gonna be wax. I'm going with red, the warmer waxes. So for most companies, red, yellow tend to do better. The cold waxes flake off easier in the summertime. So something mid-range or warm. And we're gonna go ahead and wax that on. And that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just leave these things, take care of the rest of your quiver, and when next fall and winter rolls around, you just scrape it and you're ready to go rip. This is our first tutorial video for gear related stuff. We'll have more coming to you that's tied in with our adventures, the camera gear we're using, bikes, skis, all that jazz. Our next videos are gonna be more related to the trails and getting out on the water, so stay tuned for those. And until next time, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you out in the mountains.